Dr. Densil
Okay,
also.
presenting today.
Why not Densil? Yeah.
I've exchanged my slot with Ramya. So.
You exchange, yeah. Whatever, 6 people should be. Okay, then. All the best to everybody. Okay, 1 second. Let me. Okay. So all are joined. Ronnie, all are there today? Okay.
I'm confused. Ramya is not presenting today, right? No, Ramya is not presenting today.
Then
No,
who are the
Ramya
people
is not
presenting?
present.
Just let us know once again. Because I think who are the people presenting today? Suman, are you there today? One.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then who else?
They can raise hand, no? They can raise hand.
John,
Yeah.
you as well. John.
Okay. Who else?
Shekhawat is here. Is
Dr.
Shekhawat here?
Sunisha is presenting. Sunisha, Nitin,
Nisha is
Suman.
presenting today. Okay.
Dr. Thomas asked those who are presenting to raise hand. That's all. That's
Yeah, they are
becoming
doing
easy.
that. Sunisha, Suman, Abhijit.
Okay.
So 4
Abhijit,
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
4
as
people.
well.
Who else?
John as well.
John Smith was supposed to
I
present.
think Dr. Shekhawat will join now, and then
John Smith, he was
John
supposed
Smith is not well today. Did John Smith? Did you engage somebody else to present in your time?
Somebody did offer, but I did send a message earlier during the day to say that I can do it tonight. So either way, I'm ready to do it. If somebody else is doing it, I can do it next time.
Okay.
I can do if John, if you're not comfortable, I can do it today.
Oh, you can do it today. Very good.
I'm
Very
okay
good.
to do it. I'm okay to do it. Thank you very much. I just
Okay,
wasn't
fine.
sure what time everything was finished.
No problem. No problem.
Okay,
You take
great,
care.
great. So
Thank you.
6 people, okay, including you. I hope Dr. Shekhawat will join soon. Okay, then we start with Suman. Who is going to do? Start.
I think Nitin will be starting. He's first in the line.
Fine. Okay, Nitin, over to you, Nitin. Okay, no, Aditi ma'am, shall we begin? Aditi ma'am. It's not there?
Yeah, I'm good. Start.
So let's begin.
I had muted myself, so.
Okay. Over to you, Nitin. Yes.
Okay, so
Nitin. Yeah.
Yeah, I can share my slide, right?
You can share. Roshan, did you make everybody co-host?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
everyone can share.
Yeah, you can do, Nitin.
Just a minute.
Roshan, just keep the timing also, okay? And then give
Okay.
indication 13 minutes, okay?
One minute, I'm not able to.
The share button, Nitin.
Yeah.
Keep the
It's not.
laptop. Yeah.
It shows that it's not supporting.
No worry. Or can you send it to Roshan?
Okay, I can do that.
You have to
send it
practice
to
that, no?
Dr. Thomas.
Like sharing. Yeah.
You send it to Dr. Thomas.
Okay.
Actually, it was our mistake also. We should have ordered a technical session also before we start to know the presentations. Yes.
Yeah, that's very,
that
will
was
be very
important.
useful.
I have shared it to Dr. Thomas on WhatsApp.
You are sharing to me.
Got it,
Okay,
got it.
I'll send it to.
No, I got it.
You got it, Roshan? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So you share it, Roshan. Okay, your time starts now.
Okay, so is it visible, the slides?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Yes, Nitin, go ahead.
Yeah. So good evening to all.
Good evening.
Am I
Evening.
audible?
Good evening.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I am given a topic, roots of administration and the progression of use of substance. So yeah, that training.
Can't hear you, Nitin.
Did I lose him or everyone's lost him?
No, I have also.
We can't hear him.
Okay,
No one
good,
is
good.
hearing.
I thought I lost him. Okay.
Network issue.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, so this is a different group that we have today. So all our trainers here, and everybody is knowledgeable, about the things that we are talking. So I was wondering, like how exactly, I can do this presentation. So just to bring a change, I have put this, the content, whatever that I am supposed to talk in the form of a story. So maybe a narration which I have not done earlier any time in any of my presentation. So I thought, let me give a try for this. Right. Okay. So I have written a story in which I am talking about, how these two individuals, that is Alex and Christopher, you make
Yeah.
use of these substances in their life, how they happen to, use this, and, over the period of time, how develops it as a disease, right, in their life. Okay, yeah. So can you put the next slide? Okay, yeah. Alex and Christopher were good friends. Their interest in football brought them close to each other. So they became a very good friends because of the similar talent that they had. And if they landed up in, hear me? Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
Nitin,
ahead.
we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so they became a very good friends because of the similar talent that they had. That's the they had a interest for football. Uh,
Nitin, just a suggestion. Because you're breaking, your bandwidth may not be so good. Can you switch off the video so we can hear your voice? That would be helpful to you. Yeah. Maybe you switch off
He may be having the poor network, maybe.
Yeah, so switch off the video.
I think he's fully out.
He's checked out.
Francis, you're there.
Yeah.
I think his bandwidth is very low.
Yeah.
Let's see, he'll come back.
Meanwhile, all of us can read the story.
Yeah, we can save that time.
Yeah, somebody can
Yeah.
read it for us. Who can read
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Volunteer, please.
Okay,
I'll read it.
Alex
I can.
and Christopher were good friends. Their interest in football brought them close to each other. Couple of years ago, both moved to a new city to pursue their studies. Aaron, one of their classmates, and introduced them to a new football team in the city. All three of them enjoyed playing football in the evening and on their weekends. Paul, Danish, and Nash from the football team request Aaron to get Alex and Christopher to their usual weekend party. They kept going for parties at least once in 2 months, initially for nearly 6 months.
Okay, I guess you have to all of you have to guess what is this progression level.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
What is it, Avijit?
Recreational.
Progression
Experimental
means
level, ma'am. Experimental level.
Experimental level.
Yeah. Is everybody agreed to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to move ahead? It's his present.
Roshan, let's see.
No, I
Is
think
there a difference between
I think
recreational
this
and
is recreational.
experimental?
Yeah, there
This
is.
is recreational.
There
There
is.
is. There is.
Experimental and recreational, there is difference.
So this is which one?
Recreation, ma'am.
No, it's because he is not experimented, no?
It's
No,
recreational.
one cannot experiment.
Since
for
Nitin
6
is
months,
back,
ma'am.
I think he can
6
take
months,
over.
it's not experiment.
Yeah.
Six
Nitin
months
is
is
back.
recreational, right?
It's recreation.
Nitin, take over.
Nitin,
Okay,
take
okay,
over.
yes.
Everybody's.
I'm
Yeah, we
I'm very
finished.
sorry for that.
Nitin,
Yeah.
we finished
So,
reading. Now you just
You
have
have
to.
read the story, Nitin.
Yeah.
You can
Okay,
start
okay.
reading with part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so these two people initially, they moved to a different city, and because of this, some of the things which were going really bad for them, especially when it comes to Alex, because he had what you call he moved to a new place, and because of he was away from family, which was the difficult task for him, and which led him to get into the use of substance. So now, so there was a confusion whether it was an experimental or recreational, right? So for Alex, it was experimental, and for when it comes to Christopher, for Christopher it was experimental. For Alex, it was a recreational because he has used it earlier. He has been for parties. Clear? Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So any confusion on that?
Yes. Could not get it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to hear me clearly now?
Yes,
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. 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 So can we go to the next slide?
Okay.
So yeah, so that did not end there. So Alex, can someone read this, the first two points?
Alex had a tough time being away from parents and his loving pets. Christopher suffers from performance anxiety. Danish and Nash encourage the newbies to try some substance. Of confusion, Christopher makes a decision to take some. Alex had experience of being into parties and ongoing personal struggle. Make a quick decision to go for it.
Okay, so now what is the level of the substance use here? What is the progressive level do you think for them?
For which? Oh, Alex.
Yeah, for Alex as well as for Christopher.
Occasional.
Okay, very good. So why do we say it is occasional use here?
He's using for some reason actually.
Okay. Okay, so what is the reason here?
Personal struggle.
He has performance
Okay.
anxiety, no? So
Personal-
probably for that, to overcome that, he's.
Okay. So right. So for when it comes to Alex, it is because of his maybe the ongoing problem that is away from his family and pets. And when it comes to Christopher, it is because of um, the performance anxiety that he has. So during the exams probably, or during when he has matches, he has to do well. He gets into the use of substance. Yeah. Can someone read the next two points?
Christopher, out of curiosity, and Alex, due to personal struggles, kept joining the friends' party more often. It was noticed that Alex got high at every party quicker than any other person from the team. Over the period of time, it was also noticed that Alex took longer time to get high than Christopher when they had the same substance.
Okay, so what do you understand here? What is the change that you notice eventually in Christopher as well as in Alex?
Alex has developed a tolerance.
Okay, very good. So that Alex developed a tolerance here, right? So he could consume more of the same substance, and have a lesser effect, right? So over the period of time. Yeah. And what is the level of progress that you can notice in Alex?
Habitual.
Regular use.
Okay. Okay. So he got into a regular use. So okay, very good. So when it comes to Christopher, what is it? Yeah.
Still occasional.
Okay, very good. So you see that he is not moved to a regular or intensified use. He is somewhere still in the occasional stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So yeah, can you put the next slide? Yeah. So someone can read that first two paragraphs.
He also started missing his lectures more often and showed withdrawal symptoms, unlike for Alex, who used substance for some occasions only. I think someone else is also reading along with me.
I'm reading along with you.
Okay. Some methods were found to be more risky for Christopher, but Alex really didn't care about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you understand now here? What is the difference that you notice in their behavior?
It is affecting his daily routine.
So compulsive
his lectures. So that means day-to-day basis it's affecting.
Hello.
Okay, so it is affecting his daily routine. Okay.
Yeah, he's almost become dependent on it.
So compulsive.
Okay. Okay, so he is into a compulsive use, right? Alex is into compulsive use. Yeah. So what is it for
Christopher?
Christopher, yes. So yeah. So he has not gone to the next level, right?
So Christopher is in harmful use.
Okay, so he is in a harmful use. Okay. Okay. So now
Alex is showing physical dependence criteria. He is fulfilling the physical dependence criteria.
Okay, good. Yeah. So what are some of the methods probably found to be more risky here if they were to use different means or the methods?
Injecting is one of the risky ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so injecting into nerves or probably to the muscles, right? Okay.
No, veins. To the veins. Nerves, they don't inject it to the nerve, but it's injected usually into the veins or into the muscles. Yeah.
Muscles, yeah. Okay.
Intravenous.
So intravenous, okay.
And
basically, he might be sharing the same needles with other people. That could be risky.
That increases the risk. Yes, that increases the risk.
Right. Okay. So now for Alex, who really did not care about all these things, because so the problems that he was facing so intense that he just wanted to be out of the reality. And when it comes to for Christopher, it was an occasional use, and he was aware what exactly he was doing. So that what made to Alex get into intensified use, and he really didn't care about it, the risky behaviors that are involved here, right? So how it is going to harm his health. Okay, someone else can read the last three points.
Alex kept consuming multiple different substances at the same time. He also developed multiple health and psychological issues. He was caught for stealing, gambling, and other illegal activities. Eventually, Christopher got separated from Alex without they being planned. Alex stated failing in most of his day-to-day activities.
Okay, so now so they explore different types of substances. Now, which are the substances do you think that have got very immediate effect? Can you name some of them? Yeah. So now, what are the different, what you call way people can,
No,
take these
see,
substances?
all psychoactive substances have immediate effect. There is no doubt about this. But some are more risky, like injecting and
Okay.
cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah. But all
Okay.
psychoactive substances have immediate effect. They immediately affect the brain. It doesn't take many uses for them to, show their effects.
Okay, okay. So, but there would be some substances which will, show an immediate response than in the others. Probably, the substances which are, consumed take a little longer time, like
Okay.
alcohol. So,
Okay. In that
how much
case,
time?
we can talk
Yeah.
about cocaine, heroin, and cannabis, especially, and
Stimulants,
alcohol also.
Hallucinogens also.
hallucinogen stimulants,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, which are some of the immediate, results bringing, methods that people use?
snorting,
Okay, snorting. So snorting takes, or injecting to the muscles, it takes nearly, 3 to 5 minutes, right? So there are other
But
ways.
smoking is very quick.
Very true. The smoking, it takes, around 7 to 10 seconds. That's much, faster than any other means of or routes of administration. So intravenous
And then,
also takes around 15 to 30 seconds.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So intravenous injecting or, smoking takes less than a minute, but when it comes to, snorting or injecting into muscles takes around 3 to 5 minutes. So swallowing takes around, nearly half an hour, and absorbing through skin probably, takes much longer time compared to any other routes or methods. Okay, so they discover, they had an idea about it, and, and also they saw the risk involved in it. Accordingly, depending on the situation, so, they what do you call, use the substance, and eventually you see that, there was a separation, which happened between the two good friends, that's Alex and Christopher, which they really did not plan about it. And it all happened because, Alex got into so much substance that he was not able to maintain relationship. He, started avoiding a lot of his. Yes. Okay, so he started avoiding a lot of things, and, he was completely engrossed in, collecting this substance, over the period of time. Okay, so where do you see Alex and, Christopher now? Yeah.
Alex is dependent. He is using despite of negative consequences.
Okay. So for Alex, he is in a compulsive use, and he is continuously or, regularly using substance, right? But, now when it comes to, Christopher, it is somewhere not very clear whether it is somewhere between occasional or regular use. Correct? So it is very clear for Alex that, he was not able to maintain his relationship. At the same time, he was not able to complete his day-to-day activities, which tells that, he is into a compulsive use or regular use. uh, he is identified with a substance use problem. Yeah, so with that I would conclude. So, this was just an attempt that I made, to, do it something very differently, which I had never done it earlier. Yeah. So, yeah, with that I conclude. So if you have any suggestions or, doubts, you can ask me.
Nitin, I have a doubt. Could you tell me what is the amount of time for the different routes of administration, like for smoking or intravenous inhaling? Like you said, snorting is 3 to 5 minutes, swallowing is 30 minutes. So what
Yes.
would it be
So,
for smoking and for?
yeah, so for smoking, it takes, 7 to 10 seconds. So which is actually very least time, in all the other means that we have.
And
Intravenous
intravenous
takes
is,
around 15 to 30 seconds. Yeah.
so smoking is faster than intravenous.
Yes.
And inhaling?
So, can, someone help me there? Inhaling, how much it takes? I think it is
And
3 to 5
oral also.
minutes. 3 to 5
Inhaling is
minutes
3 to 5
inhaling.
minutes. Okay.
Yeah, if
And
I'm not wrong.
intramuscular? Intramuscular?
Again, it is somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay. And oral?
Yeah, it takes around 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay. So
Yeah,
swallowing
somewhere
is oral,
near
is it?
it.
Swallowing and oral
Yeah.
is the same thing. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nitin. Excellent job. Okay, over to Aditi ma'am. Aditi ma'am, you can give your feedbacks.
Yeah. So Nitin, it was a nice experiment. Actually, the story was flowing, but it could have been little simpler because I don't know how many of them got confused with so many names that you had in the story. But it was a very nice attempt. You could have kept only to Alexander and that other person rather than including the friends. Because maybe our participants got it because they have already learnt about it, but some of them may get confused between all the names. But I like the way you made it interactive through this case study. You also asked the questions if anyone had questions. But I would still, even in spite of having a case study, I would quickly do a recap kind of a thing of the four different routes. I mean, the four progressive stages very quickly, and then go to the story so that people remember, because
can you give me
don't
5
know whether
minutes?
all of them remembered.
You can sit, yeah.
So I could only see a few of them responding and others were trying to recall what are the four stages of progression. So what you could have done was started with a quick recap of the four stages and then got down to this quiz kind of a story, which was great. But overall, your demeanor was very calm and quiet and very well done, actually. You knew your subject matter. I only have a doubt about inhalation time. It is not 3 to 5 minutes like the intramuscular time. It is quickly like smoking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's through the same mucous membrane in the mouth, and so we'll have to check that up, but I think it's the same like smoking.
Ma'am, I checked it up right now and it says snorting/sniffing is 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, but its inhalation is through the muscular membrane.
Yeah. So
all right. Okay.
Inhaling is 7 to 10 seconds, as Nitin said, and snorting or sniffing is 3 to 5 minutes. That's why maybe they go to from snorting to sniffing to intravenous, which is 15 to 30.
Right. So in the least time is smoking and inhalation, right? Inhalation is 3 to 5 seconds. You said 7 seconds.
Inhalation is 7 to 10 seconds, ma'am.
Correct. Just like smoking.
Yeah, smoking or inhalation, same thing, ma'am.
Correct. So inhalation is not 3 to 5 minutes. That is what I heard somebody saying.
It is 7 to 10 seconds.
Correct. Same like smoking.
Okay.
Yes.
Whereas snorting is like taking on a piece of paper and then slowly taking it in through the mucous membrane. That takes little time.
Longer. And then when we are talking about this, we are just talking about the onset of the process.
Yes.
The absorption time, that is the best in intravenous. I mean, that is the quickest in intravenous. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Francis?
Yeah, Nitin, congratulations. You did it very well. Your participant engagement was really good. However, I would tell you, what you did was a novel idea, good experiment. But whenever you are doing some exams like this, this is a kind of exam you are doing. It's better not to practice a new idea because you will be confused. That's the thing. You are a little bit confused how to present it. But your idea was fantastic, novel. That's good. So that's my suggestion. But on the whole, it was good. You did present it very well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Actually, I like the way that you try to interact with the people. It was excellent. You involved everyone from beginning till end. That is actually point number one. And then technically, of course, we cannot expect everyone to be technically 100% correct. But maybe you should have everybody before presenting, do some testing so maybe that should be done maybe next time when you do online presentation. So these are some of the things. And confidence level was very good. Your voice was so sweet, so nice. You are a professor. And using a case study or a story definitely keep the attention of the people. No, people will be with you. There is no doubt about that. But if it was a 1 hour session, fine. This 15 minutes of storytelling would have been very good. But maybe and then straight away come into like rules of administration and things like that. Straight language also, it would have been good to say. So if it is only 15 minutes, use only a part of it for storytelling and then next explain. But somehow you did that also, made an effort to that. I think to me it was sounding very good. Though some of the stuff we had some issues with that, but otherwise, Nitin, congratulations. You can be definitely a good trainer. There's no doubt about that. You can practice more and more. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, now over to the next. Anybody else want to comment anything from the audience? All are happy?
Sir, I just want to say that in the second slide I got lost track of it somehow. So what Aditi ma'am said, it was a little bit confusing. So
yeah, that's
but
okay.
Overall very good.
Overall, it was nice. I thought maybe after story there will be something more, but there was no time also. Okay. Anyway, good. You can definitely communicate your comments to Nitin directly also, because we have to learn from everybody, So it's not that just 3 of us only have to give feedback. Others can also give through the chat box or through whatever things. Okay. Now the next person, who is it? Is it Suman?
Yeah,
Suman,
shall I
yes,
present?
Suman. Yeah. Yeah, 15 minutes, okay? Keep in mind.
Yes.
Okay, Suman, over to you. Thank you. You can present, I think, yes.
Can you see my slide?
It's coming.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Suman here. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. My topic is the functions of the brain affected by the SUD. As we all know, addiction is considered to be a brain disease because psychoactive substances change the structure of the brain and how it works. These brain changes can be long lasting and can lead to addiction and harmful behaviors associated with addiction. Before we start looking at how substances affect brain function, it is important to understand more about how the brain works normally. Here, the brain in the picture, different areas of the brain are responsible for different functions. For example, here I have shown the colors. For here, the orange thing, this part is responsible for the movement and sensation. Blue color shows it is the part which is responsible sensation. Yellow for vision, and pink for coordination, and dark pink for the like a pain, all these things, and the light pink for the judgment, and green here is responsible for memory, and the dark orange which is responsible for reward. And the functions the brain is a communication center consisting of billions of neurons and nerve cells. These nerve cells these nerve network coordinates and regulates everything we feel, think, and do. And each nerve cell in the brain sends and receives messages in the form of chemicals. Can anyone tell me are you familiar about the chemicals in the brain? Most common chemicals.
Serotonin.
Yeah.
Dopamine.
Yeah. Commonly is dopamine and serotonin. Yeah. Endorphin, GABA, all these things. The chemicals are called neurotransmitters. For example, as you said, dopamine and serotonin. And here you can see the normal brain communication. What happens is here, these are the two nerve cells where dopamine is released normally from the sending neuron. Here you can see the yellow stars, orange stars, sorry. Released from normally, it is sending neuron and makes contact with the receptor sites. This is the another end of the neuron, nerve cell. Okay, as usual. But what happens is this dopamine is transported through the nerve cell and transporters located on the here on the sending cell. This is the sending cell. This is the recepting cell. The here transporters located on sending cell recycle the dopamine, bringing it back to the receiver cell that released it. This is the released cell. Okay, this is called reuptake, and reuptake stops the once the dopamine is reuptake. This thing. It stops the signals between the neurons once the message has been communicated. Okay. Now the next slide is how the drug affected brain communication. For example, I have taken cocaine. What happens is here, dopamine is released normally from the sending neuron here. You can see the little orange star here, the stars. Okay. And makes contact with the receptor site here, the blue ovals you can see. But once the person takes cocaine, what happens is here the cocaine has attached itself to the transporter. This is the transporter, and the transport cannot do their job as that reuptake and recycling the dopamine back into the sending cell. What happens? The dopamine keeps circulating in the contacting receptor here. Meanwhile, the communication is not turning off because the dopamine has not been returned to the sending cell. Okay, so dopamine continues to be released and the receptors are here flooded. This flooding produces cocaine effect. Okay. Okay, now parts of the brain most affected by substance use. The way the brain communicates is same throughout the brain. However, different parts of the brains are responsible for coordinating and performing specific functions. And certain areas of the brain are more affected by substance use than others. The areas of the brain most involved in substance effects and addiction are the brainstem 1 and the cerebral cortex, here the prefrontal cortex, and the limbic system. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. When we see brainstem, the function, it controls the functions critical to life, such as heart rate, breathing, and sleeping. And the cerebral cortex, what it does is process information from the senses, the thinking and the judgment center of the brain. It powers our ability to think, plan, solve problems, and make decisions. Okay. And limbic system, it contains a reward system. Here, the limbic system is the limbic system links together a number of brain structures that controls the emotional memory and regulate the ability to feel pressure. Okay, feeling pressure motivates us to repeat behaviors such as eating, actions that are critical to existence. Different areas of process information from our senses, enabling us to see, smell, feel, hear, and taste. Okay, so yeah, here, yeah, addiction and reward circuit. Our brains are wired with ensure that we repeat life-sustaining activities by associating those activities with pleasure or reward. The brain's reward circuit in the limbic system is critical to the development of addiction. Whenever the reward circuit is activated naturally, the brain notes that something important is happening that needs to be remembered and teaches us to do it again and again without thinking about it. So psychoactive substance of abuse stimulate the same circuit. People learn to abuse substance in the same way. And what happens is the overstimulation of the reward circuit, which rewards our natural behaviors like eating, drinking, etc., produces euphoric effects sought by people who use psychoactive substances and teaches them to repeat the same behavior. Okay, this is why the person who abuses substances eventually feels listless and depressed and cannot enjoy things previously brought pleasure. Okay, here what happens, the brain adjusts to the overwhelming surge of dopamine by producing less dopamine or by reducing the number of receptors that can receive and transmit signals. Okay, as a result, dopamine's impact on the reward system of the brain of a person who abuses substances can become abnormally low, and the ability to experience any pleasure induced by normal stimuli is reduced. Okay, here this is a comparison between the healthy brain and the brain with chronic cocaine use. Okay, here this is a PET scan of a healthy brain. Here this dopamine receptors have been depleted over the time. Here you cannot see these red spots. In the left hand side brain, you can see the red spots. In the right hand side, you cannot see the red spots. In the red, this is the brain who uses cocaine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now the person needs to take the substance just to bring the dopamine function back to normal. The person must take larger amounts of the substance than he or she first did to create the dopamine high, an effect known as tolerance. It may also lead to addiction, which can drive the person to seek out and take psychoactive substances compulsively. Substance addiction erodes a person's self-control and ability to make sound decisions while sending intense impulses to take psychoactive substances. Over time, the person spends less time thinking about other areas of his or her life and more time thinking about finding and using psychoactive substances. My references is Universal Treatment Curriculum. Thank you.
It's a very, very hard topic, but you have presented it well, I must say.
Francis, you want to go first?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, please.
Okay. So, yeah, it's a difficult, Navijit said it, it's a difficult topic to explain. And I think she did a great job by explaining the different parts of the brain and its functions. It's not easy. Let me tell you that this is the most difficult part to explain. She also explained the cocaine high very well. A little more of practice is needed, according to me, to explain how the dopamine gets accumulated in the synapse and there is no intake happening. So excessive dopamine in the brain now signals the brain to produce less dopamine and also to take away the reuptake thing. And that's why person needs extra cocaine to see. He doesn't feel any more high. The cocaine high reduces. And so he goes on taking more and more cocaine to get the more high. And then finally it collapses to a cocaine low, basically. So it takes a little time to, but she did a great job. Suman, you did a wonderful job explaining all this. Another thing I noticed was very calm and quiet voice. It could have been a little more interactive, I thought. That was a little bit missing here. And you could have asked people if they had any questions. I don't think anybody had any questions because they understood. So thank you.
Yeah, Sumanji, you did well. The reason is that we all come from the psychological background. None of us, I think, have that neuroscience, the nervous system we have learned. So when you consider that point, you did it very well. A very, very difficult part of the curriculum, you said it in a very, very simple. So I would say you kept it kiss. KISS means keep it simple and short. I have been taking this particular area for more than 12 years. Even today, I prepare before I take this part of the session. That means it's not that easy, I understand. So you did it very well. But as Aditi ma'am said, I also felt that you were a little bit, reluctant or confused in certain areas. But you explain cocaine, the effect of cocaine, how the transporters don't reuptake the thing, etc., etc. You said it. One thing that you missed is about the heroin mimicking the brain, the hijacking the brain. That's what probably you forgot from the UTC. That's okay.
I had done the slides actually. Yeah, then there were many slides. So sir said too many slides. So
that's
I thought
okay.
I'd take
okay.
only cocaine. Yeah.
Absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. There is nothing wrong. I just wanted to say. A little more participant engagement you can do next time. But I'm sure you are in the making of a good trainer. Already you are a trainer, but you did a very difficult thing, made it very simple. That's good. Keep it up. Thank you.
Okay, Suman, congratulations. First of all, you had one of the toughest topics and you very easily, in a very relaxed way, you handled that. So that deserves definitely, a lot of appreciation from our side. And as somebody said, I think I was just reading a chat like, no, this topic should have been for 1 hour or something. No, it's too less time. It's true. But actually, when we given you the topic, what I thought is major functions of the brain and how SUD interferes with that. Our major functions like coordination or limbic system and things like that. So maybe you could have centered around that and then explain instead of going so much into the science and brain communications and all, which I think somebody else is also doing that part, science of addiction and all. Anyway, that's fine. But on the whole, I would say that you did a good job. Only as Aditi was saying, this particular topic may be a little difficult for interactions, but still you could ask questions or ask people how much you understood or like you have any doubts and those kinds of things you have to integrate, like in future when you train. Otherwise, I think your confidence was good, your content matter was good, your knowledge is good, you have good control over your topic and your presentation was good. So thank you and congratulations.
Thomas, I just want to add a little bit. Not only to Suman, but everyone. This is a very technical topic that Suman handled. And as Thomas was saying, interacting or asking participants to say something, because participants may not know, you're explaining something scientific. So how do you interact during this time when you are handling a scientific topic? So you explain everything and then ask somebody, okay, so Clara, what do you think? What did I say about dopamine? Where does the dopamine come from? Okay, I talked about intake pumps. What is intake pump? Can somebody explain again? So you ask them to repeat what you have explained so that you know whether they have got it. And that adds on to further explanations. So first you explain very nicely and then you just say to somebody one little small question. What is dopamine? Where does dopamine come from? As I explained. And then somebody might say something. So you can't ask questions related to what do you think about it because you're explaining, but you can just tell them to repeat. And that can make it interactive. All right. This is for everyone, not only to Suman. It's a difficult topic. Well done, Suman.
Yeah, good. Congratulations. Good. Okay, so shall we go for one more presentation, Aditi, and then we break for, because we have 6 now. Yeah. Okay, who is the next presenter? Hello. Fast.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want me to go?
I'm willing to go with nobody else.
Do you want me to go?
Okay, you go and I'll go after the break. It's fine.
Avijit? Okay, otherwise, Luella, yes.
Please.
Abhijit, are you going to do now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Abhijit, your time starts now.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Abhijit.
Put it in a slide. Yeah, correct. You are
Okay.
right. Absolutely right.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to present the topic motivational interview. So first of all, before starting, let me ask all of you a question, a simple question. Okay. If the goal of the recovery process is to achieve overall well-being, overall means physical, psychological, social, etc., all are coming into the overall well-being, then what is that one thing which is needed most to achieve that? Single word answer.
Motivation.
Anyone?
Motivation. Motivation.
Okay, motivation. Anyone else?
Self-motivation.
Motivation is partially right.
Willingness.
Willingness is also right, but the main thing is
Continued care. Continuing care.
Continuing care. Yes, this is also right. So whatever answers we got here, everything related to one common thing, that is change. We need to change something, just the way we think, just the way we do things, just the way we look at things, etc. So change is needed to achieve this, all of these things like physical well-being, psychological well-being. That's all. So to gain the change, we need one thing that is called motivation. Motivation is needed for the change. So how we can define the motivation? Motivation can be defined as the probability that a person will enter into, continue, and adhere to a specific change strategy. Means motivation is not only needed to start the change process, but it is needed to continue the process. Because motivation never goes in a straight line like this, but it may increase sometime, it may decrease sometime. So motivation is needed throughout the process of change. And this is our topic for today, motivational interviewing. Motivational interviewing helps clients change from less healthy to more healthy behavior patterns. Those who practices motivational interviewing, we can call them MI practitioners. They don't interpret, confront, or pressure clients in any way. Instead, they use listening skill to encourage clients to talk about their reasons and motivations for positive change. Means motivational interviewing is not about I will tell the client what to do, what not to do. I will not tell him. He will speak about himself. He will understand his life. He will decide. I'll just help him how to decide, how to come to the decision for changing, etc. like this. Next, there are 5 stages of change. When we talk about change, there are 5 stages. 5 stages. First stage is pre-contemplation, where someone is not at all willing to change. He is fully happy, he is fully satisfied, he is fully content, in whatever situation he is now. So he is not at all willing. This is called pre-contemplation. Then comes contemplation, the next stage of change, where the client is not sure about that whatever situation he or she is in is good for him or bad. Means he needs the change or he doesn't need the change. There is an ambivalence we can put into it. This is called contemplation. Preparation is a stage, this is the third stage, that combines intention and behavior criteria. Individuals in that stage are intending to take actions. Means they are now certain that they need the change. This is the third stage. They are certain that they need the change and they are willing to change. Then comes action, which is the stage where individual start to take necessary action, necessary steps to achieve the change. And maintenance is the maintaining part. Means whenever we talk about our treatment procedure, addiction treatment, maintenance is like after treatment follow-up. He gained abstinence, he's doing good in life, but he need to follow up to maintain the recovery and prevent the relapse process. So these are the 5 stages of changes. MI, motivational interviewing, what it is. Now, there are a few differences between conventional model and MI. Conventional way is directive that I can tell the client that these are the things to do. You will do this, you will not do this, everything like that. But MI is not like that. MI is responding with empathy, supportive. We will discuss in details about this in following slides. So, as I have told earlier, that why people do not change now. This is the reason ambivalence we call ambivalence in MI. MI perspective. This is the reason ambivalence due to which people do not change. In conventional term, we use the terms defiance, denial, laziness, lack of knowledge, etc. But in MI, as it is an empathetic process, so we will not say those things because there are some kind of stigmas are associated with those terms. So we'll not use them. We'll use ambivalence. Simultaneous conflicting motivation about change. Statements such as yes, but, etc. Next, elements of motivational interviewing. There are 4 main elements of motivational interviewing, like MI, skill, principle, process, spirit. Today in this session, I will talk about skills and principles only. The rest, spirit and process, will be discussed in next sessions. So first, motivational interviewing skills. There are 4 listening skills. Basically, motivational interviewing is a listening therapy. So first of all is open-ended question. We have to ask the client open-ended questions, means those questions which cannot be answered in simple yes or no, agree, disagree, right, wrong, like that. So that we can provide the client the space or the scope to express him better, explain him or her better. If only the questions like yes or no, they cannot express them, they cannot express their feelings, which we need to listen. Then comes reflection. Reflection is like just putting a mirror in front of the client. It involves active listening. When client is saying about his feelings, client is sharing about his thoughts, we just reflect. There are 4 types of reflection: simple reflection, double-sided reflection, amplified. We'll discuss about these things in later sessions. Just for this session, just I'm saying the names of these things. And third, third is affirmation. Sorry, affirmation comes after open-ended question. So affirmation is focusing on specific behavior to affirm. Means when client is saying something about his family problem, his relationship problem, we have to affirm him somehow to give her him or her the confidence to express more. This is about giving confidence the client. And fourth one is summarizing. It is a reflection that accumulates several important things that are that the client has communicated, so that clients can understand what the things he said and what the things he need to say and more. So these are the main skills we always use in MI. And next is the principles. In principles, sir, I cannot see the clock. Can you say me how much time left? Okay. Okay. Principles, in principle, there are 5 principles. In short, we call them as DARES: D for develop discrepancy, A for avoid argumentation, R for roll with resistance, E for express empathy, and S for support efficacy. Look, the whole idea of motivational interviewing is initiate the process of change, to bring the change. When the client is in pre-contemplation mode, we first need to put in confusion in him, discrepancy in him, so that he can come to the contemplation mode, contemplation to contemplation, where he will be in doubt that do I need to change, do I need not to change, like this. For these things, we need to develop a discrepancy. Tools like decisional balancing is used in develop discrepancy. Like the client is saying, I'm okay with my life, I'm okay with my chemical using, I don't have any problem. Then we can tell him like this, that suppose you did not used a little bit of, you did not used, then how was your life, how would your life today? You are using for last 3 or 4 months, 4 years, and suppose you did not use, then what would be your life today? Like these things will made him or made her think that my life is not at all, not as well as I was thinking it is well. So this is the technique we use to bring the client from pre-contemplation to contemplation. So this is develop discrepancy, and when we are doing that, we would need to avoid argumentation. We don't need to argue with the client. Our aim would be to walk along with the client, but not to drag them. We'll walk along with them. We'll not argue with them. What they are saying, we will just question him, and we will put we'll try developing discrepancy continuously. And there is role with resistance. And there is express empathy. Empathy is the key word in MI. Without empathy, without the touch of empathy, without the approach, empathetic approach, MI is meaningless. And lastly, support self-efficacy. Self-efficacy means the client will gain a confidence. The client will know his skills. The client will know his positive side, so that he will start believing that I can change also. I can get a life also. I can be in recovery also, like these things. So these are the 5 principles of MI with this thing. And there are other spirits and process, but for these things we'll talk about in next session. Just a single thing, last thing, that by motivational intervention, motivational interviewing, we bring the person, we bring the client from pre-contemplation to action, like this. Okay. So before ending, just a small quiz. Here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. One by one, can you tell which one is open-ended question and which one is closed-ended question? First one, anybody will like to try?
Open-ended.
Open-ended.
Okay, open-ended. Right. And second one?
Close-ended.
Closed.
Close. Yes. Thank you. Third?
Open.
Open-ended.
Thank you. Fourth one?
Close.
Close-ended.
Close.
Yes, thank you. And fifth?
Close-ended.
Yes, thank you. And last one.
Open-ended.
Thank you very much. I think everyone has understood the concept well. With this, I'm concluding, and we'll discuss about the rest of the parts in next session. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Abhijit, you engaged, I like the way you engage participants in the beginning and the end. But I thought you selected too many material to present in 15 minutes. You
Yes,
can't teach, nobody can teach so much in 15 minutes. I didn't understand anything other than the open-ended and the close-ended questions. And the beginning part, it was little confusing and I felt it was very rushed up. So you should have taken only open-ended, close-ended questions. And that's all, and done one exercise for 15 minutes. Because motivation, you can go on and on for 5 days also. You need not have covered so much. You took too many slides to cover, and then it was difficult to finish because you should have given examples for everything. That's what I thought. Otherwise, your voice was very calm. Your demeanor was very perfect. I mean, you were very confidently talking. I know you know your subject matter, but you can't cover in 15 minutes so much of material.
Yes,
yeah. Francis?
Yeah, the same thing, but confident, and you kept on the same tone. You know, in training, you can change the tone. That's that's something good. Yeah, it seems that you know the topic, but you wanted to say too many things, like what Aditi ma'am says. Maybe you take only open-ended question, or else only dance, or oars, or any of the techniques, or even just to tell what is pre-condom, the 5 stages. That would have been all right. So next time when you take up, don't take too much of lot, take a little bit things and then explain. You can be a good trainer. And participant engagement, what your demeanor, other things was good. Participant engagement could have been a little more, you did involve in the beginning and in the end. That's also a technique by some of the trainers. I really agree with you. It doesn't mean that who is the best trainer. No. I don't mean that. I mean, to me, engaging the participant even each and every step is also good. But time limit is there. Of course, motivational interviewing is a vast topic. You cannot just finish it within 15 minutes. Something you did it, you covered it. Thank you. Very good. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abhijit. You have done a good job, definitely. You started off very well with that, the word change, like, so you ask people and they said motivation and different things, but ultimately it's all about change. So maybe, that the concept of change itself, you could have developed to a full presentation, like even like maybe readiness ruler. There are different things like done, like Francis was saying, any of the technique or something, if you have taken, then you would have got a lot of time also to interact with people, and then they would have understood also a little more, like because it is also our mistake. I think I should also
only
admit
the skills could take more than 15 minutes.
I know. Yeah. So I think I should also admit that it was a learning experience for us, that we give a huge topic to people. Maybe, these kinds of mistakes are possible, instead of maybe specifically telling you from this slide to next slide. I mean, 3-4 slides, if we have suggested, maybe it would have been easier also. I think that we have to keep in mind now. So otherwise, like Suman also, it was a big topic, and for you also, it is a good big topic. 5 days advanced course it is, MI. So anyway, you did a good job, no doubt about. And but what Aditi and Francis was trying to tell you, take those points, like whatever you take it, you make sure that people understand that part instead of giving too many things also.
Yes,
so
sir.
otherwise, good, Avijit, good, congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, also it's a learning experience, Thomas, for all of us.
Yes,
And
yes.
if you have, first you see how much time you have, and accordingly select only those many slides. Don't try to present the whole material. You just say, I'm going to touch only about the 5 different stages of motivation, and that's it, because you have only that much time. That time is not in your hand. No, people give you that time. So even if you are called to a school or a college or somewhere, you are given that time. Don't try to push all the material. Push little material, but at least with examples and very slowly so that people understand. So that's a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right? Yeah.
Okay. Time for break now. 5 minutes. So we come back with the host presentation next. Get ready, okay? Okay.
Should I go next, Dr. Tamil?
Luella. Yes. We can get ready. Thank you. See you.
Yes, ma'am.
5 minutes over, Roshan?
Yeah, almost over.
Almost 5 minutes. Yeah. All are back? Hello. Okay. Or today.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Dr. Shekavit is also there, no? Okay. Over to you, Luella from.
Yeah, I'm just trying
You're
the
there.
screen
You're ready.
sharing. I'm not very
Ah.
savvy with the technology, but anyway, can you see the screen?
Yeah, something is coming up. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So shall I begin?
Yes.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So good evening, everyone. So my topic is stages of change, which is a bit of an overlap with Avijit's, but anyway, we'll proceed. Hold on. Okay. So this is an overview. We're just going to go over stages of change. How do you make the change? How do you move forward? And then we'll discuss all the different stages of change and what kind of motivational techniques we can employ, and moving forward, meeting the goals, taking action, and staying on track. So that's the general overview. So we're looking at the trans-theoretical model of change. So we have the different stages of change. Are you able to see the slides changing?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so we've got this first stage, which is pre-contemplation, then contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and termination. So you can see there this young guy standing at the crossroad between the the road to change or no change. And then go to the next slide. So what change are we looking at? We're looking at making a choice towards positive life changes and growth, moving from our old habits which are not helping us to new habits which will help us grow and become better. So how do we move forward? How do we move from one stage to the next? So the first stage is pre-contemplation. So here you can see there's someone who's drinking, and other people around that person can realize that the person needs help, but the person herself does not feel that she needs help. So there's resistance usually when you're in the pre-contemplation stage. So even if someone reaches out and says, would you like help, or can I help you? No, I don't need any help, right? And so one way of moving from pre-contemplation to contemplation would be to just discuss generally what would be the pros and cons of changing. The other step would be to show empathy, because there would be a lot of resistance, and it can hurt close family members when you're trying to bring about change, or even with a therapist, there could be resistance, but showing empathy helps. So here you can see there's resistance. I don't need any help, just leave me alone. And you can still show empathy by saying that and support by saying that you will be there at any point if they need help. So what is the skills here? Listen, be supportive, offer empathy, gently let them know that how their behavior affects people around them, how their behavior is negatively impacting them. Offer information and encourage them to look at the pros and cons of changing and assess the risks of their current behavior. So this is something that can be done when you're trying to move them from pre-contemplation to contemplation. So contemplation is a stage where you realize there's a problem, but you are not sure how to move forward. So you can see, okay, I have a problem. Am I ready to change it? Right? And then you go to using a technique called decisional balancing. So the pros of changing and the cons of changing, and the pros and benefits and advantages of changing, and the cons and costs and disadvantages of changing. So at this point, if anyone can tell me, what do you think would be the pros of changing? If I could get just three answers about the pros of changing.
Achieve my goals.
Pardon?
I can achieve my goals by changing, be able to move forward.
Okay, you'd reach your goal, you'd move forward, yes. So what would that goal be?
To develop a better quality of life, health, relationships improve.
Yes, absolutely. So relationships, quality of life. And so we're talking about well-being in all the aspects, like mental, emotional, physical, material. And then the cons of changing, of course, would be the exact opposite. So here we have contemplation to preparation. So we're moving forward when we understand what are the cons and costs and disadvantages of not changing, and the pros and benefits and advantages of changing. right? So the outcome of decisional balance. So we look here, we can see the pros of cutting back on drinking, for example. No more hangovers, saving money, more energy, and the family will be happy, right? And the cons of not cutting back would be maybe keep gaining weight due to, or hard to work, get to work in the morning, or fights with the family. And then cons of cutting back on drinking would be, won't be able to unwind at night, no fun on the weekends, more anxiety, especially in social situations. And what would be the pros of not cutting back? So I have more fun when I'm drinking. I'm more fun when I'm with others and I'm drinking. I have less anxiety. And when I try to quit, I feel miserable. And whenever I try to quit, I fail. So these are the different outcomes of the decisional balance. But moving to preparation would definitely, the balance should tilt in favor of moving towards preparation. So preparation is a stage where you're ready to make the change, but you want to understand more about how to make that change. So how do you move forward? No looking back. So at the stage of preparation, very often we could relapse into recontemplation or contemplation, feel overwhelmed, and feel that, maybe I can't do this, right? But let's see what we can do. So one of the things you can do is maybe Google and see, how am I going to quit, how to stop drinking, and get help. What can I do? I can get help. I can watch self-help videos. I can get help from a rehab center. I could go to a therapist. I could go get assessed, all of these things. So these are the different things that I can do in the stage of preparation. And what can go wrong in the plans at the stage of preparation is when you move from preparation to action is when you have unrealistic plans. For example, it's okay if I go to the bar, but I'll just drink juice. That's not going to happen, right? Or sometimes if I have an unrealistic plan, like I'll go to the gym 7 days a week and I won't eat any junk food or fast food for 3 months. Some not very realistic, right? So the chances of failure is very high in these kind of plans. So another thing is for poorly formed goals. So if the goal is such that it's too difficult to meet, you could break it down into smaller goals in order to do a slow step-by-step process towards change. So what can go wrong in the plans to meet the goal? We've just discussed that. That's poorly formed goals and also unrealistic plans. So moving to the action stage is keeping in sight the goal and understanding that the steps are really small incremental steps that help us to move forward consistently. So what are the kind of skills and qualities that we need to develop? Patience and self-compassion, to reward ourselves when we have success so that we feel good and encouraged and motivated to move forward consistently. And when we fail or get stuck, not to beat ourselves up, not to stay stuck, but to move forward. And then to evaluate and see what made me get stuck or what made me relapse, and then to revise the plan and make it more realistic and more doable, and to strategize in order to overcome the obstacles, which I think Avijit has talked about some of the things that would help. And then try to move forward rather than going back to preparation or even relapsing to contemplation or pre-contemplation. So in the action stage, the motto is never give up. Usually it takes multiple attempts. So it's good to be informed that relapse is likely and to be prepared for it, but not to relapse to the point where you go back to the stage of pre-contemplation or contemplation, but to move forward as early as possible. So action is moving towards change, and then maintenance would be to then sustain those changes. So staying on track and sustaining those changes does mean that there will be temptations to relapse. So you're constantly at a crossroad making choices, and you're saying that I'm committed to stay on this path. And that's kind of the thought process in order to stay on track. Being aware of what kind of temptations and making choices in order to resist those temptations. So at this point, I'd like to ask anyone if they could think of a few temptations that one would experience in real life when on the road to maintaining sobriety. So if anyone could share.
Using places.
Yes, friends, certain places, definitely.
Celebrating social events or festivals like Diwali or 31st December or so. Celebrating a few things.
Definitely. So celebratory events, definitely. Any others? So also, like when you, very often what causes us to get into substance use, like what Nitin had shared, emotional difficulties or maybe facing difficulties. So it's not just celebratory times, but also when you're feeling down. So these are normal experiences. We all have down times. So to be aware of those and to be able to handle those with positive coping rather than to go back to the addiction. But thank you for those very good instances of temptations to relapse. So here you see, oops, I've done it again and I've relapsed. What do I do? So you can see that it can be very depressing and very upsetting, but failing does not mean that change is not possible. So how do we encourage ourselves? How do we motivate ourselves? I've been doing so well until last weekend, and now look what I did. But not to get stuck with the relapse itself, but to accept reality, say, okay, I'm pretty disappointed, but I really did well for a week, so maybe I can still do it, and to limit the damage rather than to relapse and go back to stage one, but to try to limit that damage and to move forward and pick yourself up as early as possible. So the termination stage is very rare. Change is permanent and the problem is gone. It's never coming back. That's something that's very rare, but it's possible in some kinds of addictive behaviors, not necessarily substance abuse. So a quick recap, we look at the different stages of change. So pre-contemplation. Okay, I think at this point, maybe I can ask any one of you to quickly tell me what you think are the different stages. If you could just read them out, maybe starting with pre-contemplation, if anyone can take a turn.
Yeah,
Each one can take a turn.
contemplation would mean a little bit of resistant denial and other things. Contemplation is realization and confusion and accepting the problem, and preparation, ready to change and seek.
Yeah, thank you for that. We'll get somebody else to give us the next three.
Action. Okay, Ramya.
No, that's okay.
No.
So basically, the preparation stage is where you reach out to people, or to resourceful persons who can sort of tell you or make you aware of what are the things that we may as a client we'll have to change about ourselves, and how you can go about and how change is possible in a certain way. and action is you are sort of adhering to those kind of the changes that have been in like how do you say with your
taking the action necessary for change.
Yes, yes. And you are at it. Yes, as you said, people do relapse to, go back and forth to contemplation again, pre-contemplation. So that always happens. But then action is wherein you sort of, irrespective of, you may fail at some point, but then you still don't give up. You sort of go ahead. You sort of have perseverance in whatever you have undertaken, and maintenance is almost on the same level, wherein you maintain what you have started in order to have a healthy lifestyle, and in order to have healthy relationships, or in all areas of your life, like social, psychological, in all aspects of your life. So that's what.
Absolutely. And if you notice, you'll see the spiral in the center, which means that relapse can happen at any stage. But the important thing is to contain the damage and then to try and move forward towards positive change. So thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Luella. Thank you. Atiti, ma'am.
Yeah, Loyola, you were very clear diction, clear explanation, simple slides with attractive graphics, very eye-catching. You asked, I like the way you summarized by asking examples. So that also helps you realize whether they followed whatever you have said till now. And you added on to wherever they missed out. And I like the way you talked about techniques in every stage, how to push the client into the further stage by using that particular technique like empathy or decisional balancing. So that was very interesting. And engagement of participants was there. One thing I just want to tell you and everyone is these stages are not linear. So the arrows are not right in your diagram. They can go you can go from pre-contemplation directly into an action stage. So all clients don't have to go through these stages. So nowadays they don't put the arrows there. It's just a line. So they are not linear, basically. Just that. Otherwise, great. Very calm and composed.
Thank you.
Yeah. What I would like to tell is you are a great teacher and then a trainer, I would say. Because you used very simple language and very clear, and the tone that you maintained was very good. So you are a good teacher, but you are also good trainer in making. Second thing I want to say is you spoke too much. I mean, too many things you spoke. I think there were around 34 slides. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 34 slides just for 15 minutes is too much. So when you go to the community to teach, you need to be a little careful about that. But so far as you have taught us all trainers, that was fantastic. A little bit of more participant engagement will do the trainer as what you are growing up, and definitely good. Thank you. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luella. Congratulations. I think I was also thinking that you should be given a Guinness World Record, no, for presenting 34 slides in 15 minutes. I don't know whether you took more than 15, but that was good, but without much of boring, because your slides were very good. Like no lot of pictures and no cartoons and no like graphics and all in simple language. The way that you are talking, the slides were also flowing. So maybe that is why you didn't make it like a slideshow. No, it was like a PDF. You are scrolling down without anybody noticing. As you're talking, things were coming. Those things were very good, excellent, no doubt about. But as Francis said, always, no, we have to be. We cannot put so much also, no, within this so little time. So that is something keep in mind. Another one thing which I want to tell you, Luella, is when you present, like, no, you are very pleasant, first of all, you're smilingly present. But the fact is that we cannot see you full. Your face is not fully visible. That is also something which is very important, no? When you present in the online platform, even now your face, you can see your face already, no? When you present. So it should be definitely the full face at least should be there. So that is one thing which you have to.
I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see any
you
of the
couldn't see
participants
yourself. That's
while I
why.
was sharing the screen.
Oh, I see.
I
So
think a technical class will be very useful,
that is
Dr.
also, yes,
Thomas,
yes.
because I was even struggling with this.
I think that is something which is an eye opener for us, no? The technical class, the way that the distance you have to, place, like, no, with the camera and all, like, no, it's important. People should see you. That's very important also.
I couldn't see myself, and I couldn't see anybody. I couldn't see who was talking. I couldn't.
Okay. You are using.
I couldn't address people by names. Nothing.
Okay.
I don't know what was wrong.
Yeah, we will definitely. I think we will have that session also towards the end. Let us have a technical session also. That's very important. Otherwise, Luella, it is a wonderful presentation. No doubt about that. Congratulations. Little more engagement should have been there. So for that, you need to reduce the number of slides and choose what you have to really say within this time, like, no. So in that way, I think good. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank
you. Yeah, grow from being a teacher to a trainer. It's good chance for you. Yeah, thank you. Next one, we are running short of time. Next person, please start presenting. Who is it? Sunisha or Dr. Shekawat? Who is it?
It's John. I think. Is it me next?
Who is presenting? You are presenting, John?
If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm up next. Okay.
You can.
Right.
So Loyola is presented in place of him, John.
Yes, John, you can start then. No problem.
Okay. Just loading. Okay. Before I start, I just want to really say thank you so much for all the encouraging messages today. It was a very challenging day, but it all turned out good. So really, really appreciate all the support. I'm going to be talking about addiction is a brain disease, and it is just one of those topics that a lot of people seem to have a problem with. I'm still surprised at how many people seem to think that addiction is the using of substances. Of course, we know it starts off with using substances, but the fact is, apparently the majority of people in the world can use substances and never become addicted. There is way more than just using the substances. So we're going to look at what differentiates between a person who uses a substance in a controlled manner, and maybe when it becomes a problem, they can stop, or it never becomes a problem, and the person that needs intervention with regards to treatment. There are 4 questions there, and I would like somebody to have a look at those questions and just answer them in 1 or 2 sentences with regards to your understanding, and then we're going to look at moving from the concept of addiction, what makes it a disease. So anybody randomly just read the question and just give 1 or 2 lines in what your understanding of the definition or the answer to the question is. Anybody?
You want us to tell what is addiction?
Yeah, just if one person reads the question and gives the answer, the next person reads the question and gives the answer.
Addiction is something where you use a substance, you feel the urge to use compulsively the substance, despite knowing that it is affecting your everyday life or it's causing harm to your body also.
Absolutely, the word compulsively, thank you, absolutely, the word compulsively makes a difference.
Can I say, John?
Absolutely.
Addiction is a chronic and relapsing brain disease which is treatable.
Very good. Chronic, relapse and is treatable. The next question, would anybody like to read the question and give us their understanding, their answer?
What makes addiction a disease?
Okay. What are your thoughts around it? What makes addiction a disease?
Because it has signs and symptoms.
That's signs and symptoms, very concise, basic, definite answer, absolutely. We skip the second question. Somebody would read the second question.
And every disease has, underlying contributing or causative factors. That's the way even addiction has. And if not attended, any disease can progress and lead to complications.
Absolutely, there are specific underlying contributing causes.
Also, there is a change in the brain structure because of this use of chemicals.
Change in the brain structure, absolutely. And the last question. I'd like to read the question and give the answer.
Why doesn't everyone who uses a substance become addicted? There are many underlying causes behind that. It may be genetic factor, it may be environmental factor, upbringing, etc. And the resistance means like we have resistance in any disease. That also. These are the factors: genetic factors, environmental factors, family, society, etc.
Absolutely, and those various factors play different roles for different people and create different risk factors for different people. Thank you very much for all those who participated. We're going to look at something that is used in the medical field, for any medical professionals here will recognize it. It's referred to as the causal model. What determines for something to be a disease or an illness or a condition, pathological in other words. There's an organ, there's a specific part of the body that is affected. There is the specific defect, something goes wrong in that part of the body. As intimated earlier on, there is a change in function, there's even a change in structure for that matter. And that is the basic cause, and then all that results in symptoms of the disease, the signs, the symptoms, also referred to as syndrome. So the purpose of this presentation is to go and look at what is the organ that is affected in addiction, what the actual defects are, the underlying causes, and what the actual symptoms are. It's really important, and it was mentioned earlier on, that psychoactive substances, substances that we use that brings about a change in the mood, change the structure and the function of the brain. I can't overemphasize that. The brain looks different, the brain functions differently. And these changes can be long-lasting and can lead to addiction. I'm not 100% sure of the statistics, but the last time I checked, it is still estimated that there are more people in the world that can use substances without developing substance use disorder or develop an addiction. As I intimated earlier on, when it does become a problem, they can stop, or some people can just purely use recreation and never becomes a problem. And that implies there's no change in the brain. There's no impairment in the brain that takes place. So we're going to look at what some of those changes are, what some of those impairments are. Another similarity with disease that was mentioned is the fact that it is the relapse takes place. And it's interesting, diabetes, hypertension, asthma, and also heart disease. It is estimated between 50 and 60% of those people relapse. Now, there's no craving, there's no euphoric recall. They're not trying to recreate certain feelings and experiences. So what plays the role? What is the main cause of relapse? So we know with addiction, there is craving, absolutely, but we're just looking at the human factor or the human element right now, that between 50 and 60% of people with these physical illnesses actually relapse. But anybody like to take a chance and maybe give us some indication what could be a contributing factor, just generally speaking, to relapse in diseases or illnesses? Anybody willing to share their thoughts with us? It's not necessarily right and wrong answer, just
in physical illnesses, it's the inability to manage the illness. They're not managing it by not taking the medication or the diet or the whatever they need to do to keep it under control.
Absolutely, 100% correct. They're not managing the condition. Can anybody think maybe of a contributing factor to that? What could be one of the reasons why a person stops managing the condition? as you said, by taking medication, dietary requirements.
Lifestyle.
And one last question with regards to that, what could be a contributing factor to that? That is such a common aspect of the human condition, particularly when it comes to making necessary changes. Start with C, if I can give you a clue. The C word. Any guesses? Complacency. When people get to the place they feel strong, they feel okay, and they start to rationalize, justify, and minimize. And that is very common with addiction or substance use disorder. Particularly, there's a so-called pink cloud phase, and everything seems to come right, and then we start to, well, say I'm also in recovery. We start to give ourselves permission to stop doing certain things that kept us strong, and the next step may be to start to give ourselves permission to start doing things that could put us at risk. It's a very common element in any kind of recovery process. Another thing to keep in mind there is a difference between addiction and dependence. Addiction fits the disease model which we're going to look at. There's a change that takes place. There's behavior that results from the obsessive behaviors and even physical impact. And there's the dependence, in simply meaning the body goes into withdrawal when the person stops using. An example for that would be somebody going to surgery. It is prescribed opiates for pain, used for a certain period of time. When they start to improve, they go off the medication and there is withdrawal, but there's no craving. So the essence between addiction is this craving, dependency is withdrawal. Certain substances, the person can experience both, but the main thing is when we talk about the disease model, we talk about the brain disease, particularly focusing on addiction with changes take place and impairment has been brought about in certain parts of the brain and even the body for that matter. With dependence, it's just the body has become reliant upon the substance and literally goes into shock when there is a withdrawal of the substance. Okay, we're not going to go through this whole diagram, but it's just to indicate the huge number of changes and impairments that take place in the brain. Structures like the hippocampus where the memory is formed, the amygdala that stores all the emotional memories is involved in the whole process. The midbrain, the emotional center of the brain where certain chemicals are released. The reptilian brain goes into survival. And the prefrontal cortex that makes decisions. So I just want to put it in a nutshell. What happens in addiction is my emotional brain limbic system becomes trained in order to use, in order to feel better. And over a long period of time, some of the structures that release some of the chemicals as was presented in previous presentations, some of those neurons that release certain chemicals, in order for the brain to avoid overdosing itself, will start to shut down some of those neurons or slow down the production of those chemicals. And that is often where withdrawal craving comes in. And there's also the reptilian brain that goes into survival mode when I don't use. Now, I wish we had time to explore this, but the fact that the amygdala and the reptilian brain, instead of reminding me about the problems and ways with using, will remind me about the pain of not using when I go into recovery and I start to crave. So the whole impairment is not only a physical symptoms that show up, it's also mental health symptoms. There's impaired thinking. So it's a huge change that takes place in the brain. And some of those changes can be permanent for that matter. There are some people who go into recovery for substance use disorders who remain on chronic medication that will help the brain to maintain the balance between the chemicals and electrical processes. I actually do a whole hour's presentation on this particular topic itself. It's just an indication why we refer to substance use disorder or addiction as a brain disease. All the various functions in the brain are impaired, directly impaired, and that can lead to the various signs and symptoms. Okay, the last slide. We're coming back to the fact that addiction is a brain disease. So I'd like to spend the last few minutes on exploring what causes or why do we call addiction a brain disease based on the information that we've gone through. So is there anybody who would like to, maybe one person explain the organ that plays a role, another person that can explain some of the defects that are caused, and then another person explaining some of the symptoms, the signs and symptoms that go with prediction. So anybody randomly can just start. Just read out the organ and then explain next person the defects and the next person the symptoms. We'll wrap up with that. We'd like
So
to start with the organ.
the organ is the brain involved. The brain.
Absolutely. Which part of the brain particularly would you say is involved? From the which part of the brain particularly is most affected?
There's 2 more minutes.
The limbic.
The limbic system, particularly the pleasure reward centers. Would anybody like to give some ideas about the defect that fits the disease model? What are some of the defects to that part of the brain? What are some of the impairments?
Impairment of judgment.
Physical problems,
Physical
psychological
problems in the brain?
social problems,
Yes.
relationship problems.
Yes, absolutely. And also, eventually, decision-making process can also be impaired. The various neurons that release some of the chemicals that help you feel good. So a lot of defects. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to rush a little bit. So would anybody like to share what some of the symptoms are that actually defines substance use disorder or addiction as a disease?
Increased tolerance.
Tolerance. I have to use more in order to experience the same high. Any other symptoms?
Dependence.
Dependence, the withdrawal syndrome.
Loss of control.
Loss of control, absolutely. And then the craving, obviously.
Craving.
Craving is very, very important. Great. So hopefully,
Continuous.
sorry.
Loss of memory as well.
Loss of memory, 100%. So many different parts of the brain that are affected.
Having
So
signs when stopped using the substance.
yes, absolutely. So there are so many signs and symptoms. So hopefully, for anybody who may have had some doubts about whether addiction is a disease, and very often people will say, well, diabetes is a disease, addiction is not, when you use all the reasons. If you look at what it is, it really, really fits the disease model. So at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that addiction is a disease of the brain. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. You covered quite a lot again, very technically, beautifully well in that 15 minutes. You have a very calming voice, but I feel you can a little bit modulate it because it became a little boring at the end, listening to the same tone of voice. Of course, you gave very clear explanations. Again, in between, I thought you were talking too much, sounded like a lecture. So come back to training. You did involve participants, and I loved the way you used questions to summarize. And those went off very well. So there was a great involvement by participants. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. John, you did very well. Fantastic job, you did it. Again, it was one of the difficult portions that you dealt with. To talk about brain and the functions is not that easy. It is very difficult. One of the things that I liked the most is you try to explain addiction and dependence in a very simple picture. That was very clear. That was very good. What was difficult for me also is when you came to the explanation about the brain. That was a difficult area, difficult to understand, because you should have probably asked the participants to engage in discussions. But otherwise, you did it very well. Thank you for that. Please keep it up. You are a very matured person, very calm voice. Thank you very much.
Thomas, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This time I'm using a mobile phone, so a lot of even I am a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, John Smith, I really like the way that you started your session. That giving that 5 questions, very common questions, and eliciting response from people. What do you what do you understand by addiction, or no, different, very nice, beautiful questions. So that was the best way of starting the class. That was very good. Only as as you were trying to explain further into it, I think that link with the people a little bit lost in between. But on the whole, when I see that you engaged people, no doubt about that. Only thing, as Aditi was also referring, it was more or less same tone from beginning till the end. No, that you have to make some variations and all. No, so that will also attract people, not to keep them focused on to you more. Otherwise, on the whole, I would say that you have handled this topic well. Addiction as a disease. Congratulations, John, and then we will see you doing much better way later. Okay. Everybody knows that somehow today we had something wrong with our timing or timer, or either you did not follow the signals, or Roshan did not give signal. Roshan, did you give sign signals?
Yes, I'm already said to me.
He did.
Done, huh? Somehow, yeah. So we have to strictly follow that somehow, no? When we were doing this TOT with Colombo plan and all, the minute we'll get, this one. And we know that, no, where to stop and things like that way.
Yeah,
So
everyone stopped on time, I think.
yeah, so more or less everybody kept the timing. I don't know how we lost our time in between. So we cannot have one more presentation today. So we will have it tomorrow, okay? 1st Jan is tomorrow, I mean November. So we have a session tomorrow. Everybody is aware of it, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tomorrow we will try to have 7 presentations. So we'll start exactly at 6 o'clock without any introductions. So everybody has to be on time, okay? Please come before 6 so that we can start with the first presenter. Everybody's present should be there. And then you are also free to comment in your WhatsApp groups. If you want to say something, congratulate or anything, it's okay also. Let people get more feedback from you also. There is absolutely no problem about that. Okay, anything else?
Dr.
Aditi, ma'am?
Thomas, is everyone
Yeah.
sharing their PPTs?
You would, we welcome you to share. It's
It
very
will be a good idea.
good idea that if you especially your slides.
If everyone can put their PPTs in the group, then we can go through it leisurely and make
That
more
would be a
sense
very
out
good
of it.
refresher program, recap, of the entire thing. If you can share your PPTs in the group, everybody who are present, after presenting, if you can put it up, great. It's very nice. Good suggestion, Luella. Anything else, Aditi and Francis?
No, nothing from my side.
It's fine.
It's fine, no? So
Yeah.
we will meet up tomorrow sharp at 6 p.m. and we will try to complete our task. We cannot miss anybody. Okay, so bye everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
See you.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, okay,
See you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
thank
Yeah,
you.
see you. Yeah.
Have good dreams.
Yes, Francis. Francis.
Have good dreams.
Yeah. I think Francis, there is. Ronnie was saying that grading of one of the participant is missing from yours. No, can you check that?
Okay, let me check.
I think Suman, you have to do that. I think.
No,
Yeah.
what I
Okay.
meant to say
Human ID.
is
Yeah.
one of the criterias is missing, like you did not vote. I think it's called as supervision of training environment.
Oh, whatever. Yes.
Is that a
Only
reason?
one
Is it everything
criteria.
or only all Suman?
Suman and Luella.
Okay. Okay.
Suman and
And then
Luella.
Okay, right. Let me see. Yeah. Is it, let me check.
Okay, so Dennis, come prepared tomorrow.
Can I just check if my screen is getting shared?
Yeah, you can try with Roshan is there, I think, or Ronnie. You can
Yeah.
try
Okay.
if you want to check.
Okay, okay. Done.
Thank you, Francis.
Okay, see you.
Okay, see you. Thank you.
Can't hear you if you're saying something. You're muted.
I think Denzel wants to try for sharing his slide to see if it is working. Can you help, Ronnie?
Sure, I'll be here.
Ronnie, there's a basic and advanced and files. So we have to go to
You have
files.
to go to basic first. First, you have to open the file. Then you have to click on share. Then go to basic. There you can see your file and click on it. And it will come. Double click.
And Denzel, first you need to keep the file open in one of the
sharing
windows.
now. Sharing now. Yeah, you're sharing your screen right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to
That is also work.
Yeah. So I have shared it.
Okay.
Yeah, is it shared?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, thank you.
Denzel, make sure your internet is also stable, okay? Right now, I just saw your bandwidth being a little low.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure. I can hear you. No problem now. In the beginning, there was something.
Okay, fine. Okay, only just want to check out. Thank you so much.
Okay, Denzel.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Take care.